I'll let you start.
Yeah, hey everybody. We're glad you're here. Welcome to Vera Cabero's presentation on one-to-one devices as student response systems. It's a great day in Transylvania County, sunny skies, and so welcome. I want to introduce Vera for a few minutes and just tell you a little bit about her. She's an experienced educator with over 15 years as a classroom teacher and 3 years as an instructional technology facilitator, all in Transylvania County. She is also an authorized Google education trainer and educational technology consultant and trainer. Welcome, and I'm going to turn things over to Vera.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I want to introduce my co-host today. This is Kathy Zandecki, and she and I work together in Transylvania County as the IT facilitators, and Kathy's done a little bit of everything from special education teacher, principal, and now she's our IT coordinator. And so thank you, Kathy, for helping out today.
Thanks for asking me.
And we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I'm going to share a presentation with you, and we'll kind of go back and forth. I'm talking today about one-to-one devices as student response systems. And if you've been in education for a while, you probably remember the old clickers that came out several years ago, and we thought those were great and they allowed students to answer. But now that most students have devices, there's a lot of products out there, some of them which are totally free, which also really help to engage students much easier than those old clickers did. So we're going to look at some of those, and I'm going to share my presentation with you, and we'll kind of go through that if you bear with me for just a second while I get it shared and started. And I'm going to actually have you participate in a lot of things today, and I'll ask you to go to some different sites. If you could do that in a different, open a different tab and kind of follow along, you'll get the most out of the presentation. But here is my presentation, and I'm going to, hopefully you'll be able to see it on there on your screen. Okay, you seeing it? My presentation with you, and we'll kind of go through that if you bear with me for just a Okay, my presentation's not showing for you, right? Oh, maybe there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, I think now you can see my presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and go through. First of all, I'm going to share my contact information with you, and we'll get that up there on the screen in just a second. In case you would decide you wanted to contact me, I'll let you have that. Let me get my screen split. I think that will work better for you to be able to see what I'm doing and for me to be able to control that presentation in another screen. So give me just a second. Okay, still seeing it? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the presentation in presenting mode. And I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And there is a little bit of a delay. Nope, it's not showing.
We're still seeing the first frame. Just bear with us for a second.
Okay, well, I have a backup plan, which we're going to go to the backup plan because that sharing is not working as I planned. So I'm actually going to have you, one of the products I'm going to talk about today is called Nearpod. And Nearpod is going to allow me to share that presentation with you on your device. And so we're going to do it that way. I kind of suspected that might work better. And so if you would, on your device, open a new tab and go to nearpod.com, nearpod.com, and oh, now it's picking up.
It's delayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like maybe my presentation was working, but we'll still go to Nearpod because we're going to do that eventually anyway. So if you will go to nearpod.com, I'm going to take control of your device, and this is one of the things that I wanted to show you because it works really well for letting you send a presentation to your students' devices. And so I'm going to give you a site to go to, and I'm going to give you a PIN number to put in just a second whenever you get into Nearpod, and that will allow you to see what I want you to see. So if you would, I'm going to start the presentation, and then I'm going to give you a code. If you're at nearpod.com, it's asking for a session number, and when you put that session number in, it will show you what I'm talking about, and you'll be able to see everything that I'm talking about. You might want to split your screen, or you might want to do it in a separate tab, but the code to put in, the session number is RZ, as in zoo, LUV, RZLUV. And if you will enter that into your session number, then it will pull up the Nearpod presentation that I'm going to go through with you, and it has all the information in it that I want to share. So let's give everybody just a second to get into that. Okay, and now I'm going to broadcast that on the screen for you. So you have to bear with me. I'm obviously not a professional at Hangouts on Air, trying to get the hang of it today. So here we go, though. I'm going to broadcast the Nearpod presentation, and I'm kind of controlling it for you. As you go through, you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll be talking about what's on your screen if you're in the Nearpod presentation. If you could kind of switch to that for now. First of all, my introductory screen, and now I have, looks like I have 10 people joining me. You on your device now should have a place that says welcome to the session, and type your name. And whenever you use Nearpod, this comes up automatically. You don't have to set it up for students, but if you wouldn't mind typing your name in there. I see Angie, Kathy, Gordon, Lori, Marcia, Maureen, Pratik, Snakey, and 2 more people. If you want to sign in real quickly, we'll wait for you. There's one more, waiting on one more person. If you want to sign in, go ahead. I see Luke has joined us. And that may be that we have an extra. Okay, there we go. We're all signed in. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the presentation this way then. There's my contact information. This is shared as a Google presentation in the Education on Air materials, and those will all be hyperlinked. But if you want to contact me for any information, there are plenty of ways of doing it there. And also we have some prizes to sign up. And I'm going to actually send you the actual web page in the next slide, which is something that Nearpod allows you to do. So when I click this arrow here in just a second, it's going to go to a Google form, and we have 3 Nearpod Gold subscriptions. I have 3 Answer Pad Plus upgrades that will last through December, and then I have 3 Kahoot t-shirts and some stickers and things. If you'd like to sign up to win those, then now you should be seeing a screen that allows you to click to go to the web page. If you'll click that, it'll open up in a Google form, and you can just very quickly enter, just ask for the basic information I'll need to deliver your prize should you win one, which is your name, your mailing address, and your email address. If you win one of the subscriptions, I'll be able to send those to you digitally via email. And if you win a t-shirt, I'll need your mailing address to send that. So if you want to sign up, feel free, go ahead and do that. I'm going to give you just a second. And notice how whenever you send students a tab or a website, it opens in a new tab. So you'll still have up there at the top of your screen, you'll have the Nearpod tab as well. And so I'm going to give about 5 more seconds if you're signing into that, and then I'm going to change your screen, and you should still have your form if you need it. Okay, so this presentation is about getting our students engaged. And if you're like most educators, you're tired of having some disengaged students sleeping, drowsy, not really with you in class. And you're also probably fed up with doing mountains of grading. And in the year 2015, there are lots of things that can help you with your grading and save you lots and lots of time and have time to do things on your own. And also in this day and age, we're supposed to individualize education for our students. And if you're having to do all the grading, you're waiting a week for that information, and by that time you've already moved on to a new topic. So we need something that gives us instant feedback so we can individualize instruction for our kids. Also in 2015, most everywhere our students have devices, school issued or BYOD, but technology is just an integral part of education. So we can learn to work smarter, not harder, and we can put those devices to work for us. And so they can help us engage our students. They can reduce our paperwork and help us get that feedback instantly so we can individualize instruction for our students. And that's what this presentation is about. These are the 4 products I'm going to feature today, and I'm going to only have about 10 minutes to devote to each one. So this is not going to be a full-blown tutorial on any of the 4, but I will show you kind of how to find more help if you want to use those tools in your instruction. All of them have great help resources available. And so we are actually in Nearpod already, and we're going to explore it a little bit, and then we'll go through Kahoot, Socrative, and the Answer Pad. Okay, this talks about Nearpod a little bit. The suggested use for Nearpod is just like I'm doing now. It sends an interactive presentation and allows you to control it on student devices. And notice that when you sign into this presentation, all you had to put was the code. So this is perfectly safe, even with your younger students, that under 13 crowd. You can use this with them because they don't have to register. Only the teacher has to register. There is a free version of Nearpod that allows you to store up to 50 megabytes and have up to 30 students at a time in a live session. And chances are when you start using Nearpod, you're probably going to want to buy an expanded version of it because you're going to love it. And if you do, there's a subscription for $120 a year or $12 a month that you can buy for it. There's also lots of free content, presentations that others have already made that you can get in the content store. And then there's some paid content as well. The content store also has Nearpod tutorials that you can get help for if you need it, but it is fairly easy to use for teachers, and it's super easy for kids. All they had to do is what you did, is just put your code in and then just kind of follow along with the presentation. And so you're already in my Nearpod session, so we can ignore this now. We got there a little quicker than planned. But this is what the home page of Nearpod will look like. And if you want to, you can, again, open it. It'll go into a new tab, and you can save it and bookmark it for later. But when students log in, all they had to do is what you did, join session. As a teacher, you log in here. And then whenever they do that, you can see I have a poll in front of you now. This is one of the interactive features that Nearpod has to offer, is a poll. And so whenever you weigh in, it has all of your names here. If you're still with us, your name should be there. And you have a question there just about what devices. And I put this here just purely for just for an example, so you can kind of see how this works. And I have a couple 4 answers. Got the rest of you coming in, and notice that as you're answering, you can see on my screen in just a second, I'm going to share the results with you, but you'll be able to see all of the answers. I'm going to give just a couple of seconds in case we have some people whose answers just haven't gotten into me yet. I've got 4 or 5 answers on there. Okay, I've got lots more down there. About 2 more seconds, I'm going to share the results with you. And this is a great feature on Nearpod. It lets you share if it's a quiz question, it shares the student's individual response. And if it's a poll or something like that, it just shares. So I'm going to share with you. And notice what comes up on your screen is a beautiful pie graph with all of the answers color-coded, and you can see what everybody wanted. And so then when I unshare it in just a second, it will go back to what I'm looking at. So I just unshared it. In just a second, it goes back to your thank you screen. So that is a poll. That's just one of many interactive features. And now you're looking at different ways to create content in Nearpod. You can create from scratch. They have a content editor, and you can upload your own PowerPoints. And then if you have Google Presentations, you can get an app in the Chrome store called Nearpodize this. And that will make your presentation a Nearpod presentation, which is what you're looking at right now. That's what I did. This was a Google presentation, and I used the Nearpodize this app to put it into my Nearpod, and then you can immediately share it with students, or you can add those interactive features to it in the Nearpod program. Okay, these are the different interactive features that are included. You have open-ended questions. You have polls, which you just saw. There are quizzes where you can put multiple choice questions. There's a draw it feature. You can have your students draw right on there, or you can have a picture in it that draw on top of the picture, like a map or a graph or a chart. They're fill in the blanks, slideshows, which just allow students to flip through a group of pictures that you have shared with them, and then websites, which you've already seen. And then there's also a matching pairs where they can play a little matching game with it. Okay, this next one then we're going to go into is Kahoot. Actually, before I go to Kahoot, I want to take you into Nearpod and show you just a little bit more about it. And so I'm going to scoot back and go to the Nearpod website. And you should see it on your screen as well. You've got the option to go back and click on Nearpod and go into the website if you want to kind of look at what I'm showing you. I'm going to spend just a couple more minutes on it before I go. Notice that it is available on all the different apps and devices, iOS apps. It's in the Google Play Store, it's in the Windows Store, and then there is a web app. So this is a multi-platform app. I don't support anything that's really not multi-platform. But if I go into my account in Nearpod, then you can see, I'll kind of log in real quickly. You can't see my screen now, can you? Okay. It's not sharing.
No, this is just the,
Okay.
I can't see it on the video.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and keep taking you through my Nearpod presentation. Let me find my, okay. So you guys are not seeing my presentation anymore? You're in Nearpod, right?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the presentation, but this is you. I can't, and it doesn't, I can't see what's happening. It's
Okay, but
kinda
on the other
delayed,
one you
yeah.
can. Okay. I'm sorry, bear with me for just a second. I'm getting back on where I needed to be. Okay, I'm just going to keep taking you through, but Nearpod does have a library, and if you're in another tab, you're welcome to explore that. Has lots of free apps or free presentations that have already been created by other people, and you can share, you can look at those. And a lot of them, what I've done in the past before I got an upgrade is I would just use a presentation, modify it, then delete it, and then give it an hour or so, and it would clear my storage, and I could go in and get new content. And so you can do that just to kind of make it work for you for a while, and hopefully you will be able to get an upgrade because Nearpod's a fantastic feature. But we're going to move on now. If you're still with me in Nearpod, in my Nearpod, if you're not, the code, if you want to go to nearpod.com and join, if you just came aboard, our code is RZLUV. That's the session code. And so you can put that in the session code line, and it will pull you right in, and you'll see what I'm talking about because I'm talking you through a presentation that I'm sharing with you online in Nearpod. And so now I'm going to talk about Kahoot. And Kahoot is a fantastic resource I just discovered this year, and I've shared it with lots of teachers, and my teachers absolutely love it. The students love it. It's game-based, it's fast-paced, it's fun, and it is 100% free. And so this is not one that you ever have to pay for an upgrade. You have everything that Kahoot has to offer for free. And there are thousands of public Kahoots that are already made that you can go in and edit. You can copy them and you can edit them any way you want to. And they also have an FAQ, which has lots of helpful information if you have trouble using it. But Kahoot is super easy to use. It's super easy for students to use. And all they have to do, a student just goes to Kahoot it.
See this? I can't see the screen in the video. You're live, but I can't. This is the
In Nearpod. Okay.
So I can't see the screen. I'm not sure. Can you
Okay,
see if
you're not in
anybody's
Nearpod though, right? Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're trying to decide.
Yeah, just
for sure.
making sure that you
Yeah.
can see.
If you're still in Nearpod, you're with me. That you're still seeing my presentation. And if you're just watching the Google Hangout, you're just seeing me, and you're not really seeing the slides that I'm
Yes,
talking
that's
about.
correct.
Okay. Okay, but to play Kahoot, a teacher needs to go to Create Kahoot to actually manage their content. But students, again, in this one, do not have to have an account. All they have to do is just go to Kahoot it, and
So
they
now I'm
can
talk about. Sorry about that.
That's okay. And they can just enter the game pin again. So this is great. We have kindergartners who use it. It never asks for any information. The only thing the student needs to have is the game pin. And so I'm going to go ahead and send that to you. You'll have a slide now where you can click on it, and it will open Kahoot. And we're going to do a little quick Kahoot activity. So if you click on Kahoot.it in the middle of your slide that you're seeing now, it's going to ask you for a game pin. And I'm going to give you a game pin in just a second. This is just a little simple one I created to demo Kahoot for you. And it's just like 5 questions just to kind of give you an idea of how it works. Kahoot also just came out with another feature called Ghost Mode, and we'll talk about that just a little bit. But the Kahoot that I'm going to share with you right now, the code for it, I'm getting ready to start it. And I'm going to have some music that comes up. I'll kind of quieten that down in just a second. Or actually, I'm going to turn the music off. You do have the option to play the music when you start, but for now, that's going to be kind of distracting. But I would recommend that you do it for your kids because they like it. It gives it kind of a circus-like atmosphere. But now I'm going to give you a code, and if you will, if you're looking at Kahoot, you see a game pin. If you'll put in the pin 614678, and then enter, it will let you get into the Kahoot. So again, the game pin in Kahoot, 614678. 678. And if you want to join me, it is kahoot.it. And then it's going to ask you for your name. So just put in a name or a nickname, whatever you want to do. And I'm waiting for players to join. So if you want to join, please join in. I have Charlie. Anybody else want to join me? I'll give you just a minute. Go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin 614678. Anyone else joining us? I'm going to wait just, okay, I have KD. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm just going to wait just another second, see if anybody else is joining in, and then we'll get going. Okay, got quite a few people joining in now. Okay. Okay, and I'll call the names and make sure I have everybody. I have Miss Hill, Philza, Maureen, Abby, Ang, KT, Katie, Miss Isle, Susie, Marcia, Wheatley Davis, PL, Gordon, Chantilly, Veronica. I think we're ready now to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start now, and you'll see what happens with Kahoot. It's going to ask you, are you ready? Now, what happens with Kahoot is you cannot see the question. So this is going to be a little bit difficult since I can't share my screen with you. So I'm going to read the question and the answers, but all students see, what you do is you project the question on the screen. The question is, poem is to stanza, as play is to blank. The red triangle is poet. The blue is figurative language. The yellow is rhyme, and the green is acts. So if you're not being able to think because you can't see it, the correct answer would be acts, which is green. So just click your green for me. And the students, this is done intentionally to keep the students focused on the front of the room. So again, click the green for acts. I only got one of you there because you can't see my screen. That's not an ideal situation. Let me see if I can get it to share before I continue. I'm going to go back into my education on air and try to share this with you so you can see it as well as your, let me see if I can.
And Vera, while you're doing
Kahoot.
that, we use
Okay.
Kahoot with our kids. They love it. It's very interactive. And so hopefully we'll get you in here so that you can interact
Okay.
with it.
Okay, I've attempted to share it. Let's see. There's a little bit of a delay. Let's see if you can see it. We'll give it a second. Okay, so you can see the questions. Still not seeing it? Okay, my screen sharing just does not seem to be working well, so Kahoot's not going to be as effective as it would be otherwise, because students would see the questions and the answers on the screen, and on their device they would just see those shapes, and they would click the shapes, and then after every session it shows a scoreboard and shows who's in the lead and gives them a score. And so it's very competitive. Kids really get into the competitive nature of it. And it says I'm sharing. I don't know why you're not seeing it, but obviously you're not, because we have a sample device here. Still not able to see it. Okay. Okay, so we won't be able to share the screen. We'll just keep going. Let me see. Let me give it just, I had to present to everyone. Let's see now if it comes up. Have a delay. Still nothing? Okay, well, it says I'm sharing to everyone, but I'm not. You can see it? Okay. Okay, great. There it is. Okay, that device was just acting a little slow, but you can see my screen now. And so I'm going to keep sharing that Kahoot game with you, and that'll make a lot more sense to you now that you can actually see it. So I'm going to click next, and the next question will come up. It is, chapter is to book as blank is to car. And the answer choices that are, the red triangle is page, the blue is fender, yellow is cover, and green is driver. And the correct answer, of course, would be fender, which is blue. If you can't see my screen for some reason, if you just want to click the blue hexagon, that would be the correct answer. I have two of you weighed in for me. Maybe your Wi-Fi is faster than mine, hopefully, because mine's got a little bit of a lag. Okay, so the correct answer, and I have a 30-second timer. You do have a choice, and so you can see there, you might have ran out of time. I'm sorry if the wireless is slow, but you can see on my screen now, I'm sharing with you the results of that question. It shows two people got it right. two people answered the triangle, got it wrong. One got the blue, which is right, and one got the green, which was wrong. And so now when I go to next, it's going to show you that KD took the lead. Charlie's in second, everybody else with 0. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go to the next question. Knife is to blank, as shovel is to dig. And hopefully you can see my tools there. But the choices are: the red is cut, the blue is tools, the yellow is dirt, and the green is food. And so since for a knife to do what a shovel does, of course, see 7 of you have answered. That's good. We're getting somewhere now. We're catching up. And there's a 30-second timer. You can adjust the time limit. If you want it to be a real fast speed round, you can make the time limit less, and you can also up it if it's a more thought-provoking question. So there we have it. 8 of you answered, and here are the answers that came in. 1 person got it right, which was cut. 3 answered the blue, 2 the yellow, and 2 the green. And it is just a little delayed, I know, and that's causing some issues. And I think that's partly with the Hangout, the delay in the Hangout. But it goes very well in class. We don't experience this delay in class at all. Kids get it immediately. They get the answer immediately, and their answers come in. So I have a new question up on the screen. Fish is to blank as wolf is to forest. And then notice that you can put images in your questions if you want to. And so the answers are: scales is red, eat is blue, river is yellow, and bowl is green. If you can't see the question, the river would be the correct answer, which is the yellow oval. So I have 8 people who've answered, and we have 7 seconds. Now, if everybody's answered, I could go ahead and click next, which I'm going to do. I'm going to end that question. And we have here 1 person got the correct answer, and then and that puts KD in the lead again. I think, let's see, no, Chantilly took the lead, and Katie second, then Lupita, and then Charlie. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next screen. And this question: waltz is to dance as blank is to reptile. So of course, waltz is a type of dance. So you're going to give me a type of reptile. We have red is snail, blue snake, yellow is polka, and green is scales. I have 9 answers in. I think that's everybody, 10. So I can go ahead and end the question if I know all of my answers are in. And so I'll go ahead and end it. And snake shows you the correct answer was snake. And then it shows you who and all got it right and who got it wrong. Shows it up on the screen each time. And that was the last question. And I want to show you kind of how it ends. So Charlie took the lead. Charlie won with 1450. And I also want to point out that if the same students answer correctly every time, this takes speed into account. So the person who answers the most quickly as well as correctly will be the winner. If 2 students have identical answers, that's how it kind of determines the winner. And so I recommend this for review activities, not for quizzes necessarily, because some students get pressured of the time limit. So when I go to end, it gives you a winner is, and then there's also an option that students can give feedback and results and give it thumbs up, thumbs down, recommended, and so forth. But we're going to just switch back now to the Nearpod and keep going and cover a couple of the other ones that I haven't gotten to yet. So if you'll switch back to your screen where you have my Nearpod presentation up, if you've lost it for some reason, nearpod.com. And the code is RZLUV. And so you can rejoin us, RZLUV. And I'm going to send you to some new information. And this time it's on Socrative. Now, Socrative has been around for a while. I've used it for several years. It was recently purchased by Mastery Connect, which also has a wonderful kind of evaluation tool that you can do online. It has a free version. But they purchased Socrative, and Socrative is still 100% free, and it will always be free. That's kind of part of their deal. And it's great for formative and summative assessments. It has features like quiz, quick questions, space race game, exit ticket. And the quizzes can be teacher-paced or student pace, whichever one you decide. And there are some free resources. There's a link here, and I've also put it in my resource folder on the Hangout on there. You can go to the Hangout webpage and find that. That is a big spreadsheet full of shared Socrative quizzes, and you can search those lots of different ways. And so there's some different views there that you can search by. And there's also some help and tutorials on this website, which is linked in my actual presentation in the Google Hangout folder. And it's easy for teachers and it's super easy for kids. And once again, kids don't have to do anything. They don't have to register. All they have to do is put that code in. So this is another tool that's great for all ages. And as working in elementary school, that's really important that you can have your under 13 safely use these tools. And this is one that you can use. So now you should be seeing a screen that has the link to it.
It's just delayed.
Okay. And hopefully yours is not as delayed as the one I'm looking at here. I have a separate device and has quite a delay on it. But if you click on that link, it'll take you to Socrative. And I'm going to actually go into Socrative and I'm going to demo the space race because space race is one of my favorite things. One thing about Socrative is the class number is always the same. With Kahoot and with Nearpod, the code that the student gets changes each time. So you can't ever leave that number with a sub and say, you know, go here. But with Socrative, it is the same code all the time. And so as soon as I get logged in here, we'll give you that code and you can log into my class as well. And I'm going to demo a feature called Space Race. And Space Race is a just a little fun competitive activity. And I've seen kids really, really like it, even though it's very 1980s Atari style.
Even some of the middle school kids like to use that.
Yeah, they really do. I think anything you can give kids where they compete with each other, they like. But my code for my room in Socrative, when it asks you for the room, is 806031. Again, the Socrative code, 806031. And I think I have that in my Nearpod presentation as well on the next slide. Yeah, there it is, 806031 if you're looking for it. And when you do that, you're going to be in my room and it's going to tell you you're waiting for instructions from a teacher. So you can do quick questions with Socrative. You can just send a question on the fly where students, maybe you've written them on the board and you just want students to answer online, or you're given the questions orally. You can also, as I said, run a quiz that you've already created, and it can be student or teacher paced. And it has an exit ticket with just 3 basic questions to gauge understanding. But I'm going to demo this one, which is Space Race. That's my favorite one. And so I have a little Socrative quiz that I'm going to run for you with my computer. And it's just, again, it's just a little sample one. And I'm going to put you, and it lets you select the number of teams up to 20. I'm going to select 3 teams, and I'm going to auto assign the team colors. And you have different choices for your little characters. You can have a rocket, a unicorn, a bear, a bicycle, or a spaceship. I think we'll go with the unicorn. And you have the option also to hide student feedback, and I'm just going to not do that. And then when I start it, you're going to actually see on your screen, as soon as it catches up with me, a place to write your name. And so write your name if you would, and it'll kind of, I always have students use their real name, but whatever you want to put in there is fine. And then it gives you another option to write your teammates, but you don't need to worry about that. Just put, what does it say? First name. Just enter your name again. First name's fine. And then do submit answer, and then we'll actually start the game. Okay, so
Click OK.
Okay, yep, click OK, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, now you've got the questions in front of you, and if you'll just go through, this one is kind of self-paced. You can answer them as you go, and I see on my screen the blue has taken the lead. You should still be seeing my screen, these cute little unicorn characters that I'm showing you. And so the blue's taking the lead out there if you're on Team Blue. And we have also people on the magenta team and the lime team. If you'll just go through and mark your answers. And notice also when you put your answers in Socrative, I've put some feedback in there. That's an option you can use or not use, whichever you prefer. But you can give feedback on why the answer is correct or why it's not. Now we have somebody on the lime team who's catching up, moving along. And I always do this. There's magenta. Magenta's joined us. They're coming along, and there are only a few questions, so this will finish pretty quickly as well. But if you can kind of look back at the Education on Air screen, you can see our little unicorns racing. And then when you finished, you'll have a thing that tells you you're waiting. And I'm going to give just a minute, see if magenta is still weighing in. Looks like just to allow for the delay, I don't want to cut the screen off before you actually get to see it, because it is kind of cool. And we have a tie, three-way tie. Apparently you're all very smart. Yay, y'all know your answers. So we have a tie. And whenever I finish, it's going to give me a report option. And this is what I really like, because even though they're in teams and it's kind of anonymous, they don't know who's on what team, you can still get reports by individual. You can get the reports by student. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but I have all of these people who joined me and have participated. And you have a color-coded list of course, orange is wrong, red is or green is right. And then you have also at the bottom the total percentage per question, the number of people who got it correct. And so it's good information for the teacher. You can also download a quiz, a question list by question, and you can download it by student, or you can download the whole quiz. So it's got some good reporting features. And I forgot to even mention that with Nearpod and Kahoot both, because that's important to teachers. But all of these tools, everyone I'm showing you today, also give you that ability to see results. You can get the results and see what your students have done, and you can download them in PDFs, sometimes CSV files as well, which allow you then to upload to your gradebook. So great tools there. And I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that, go back to my Nearpod presentation. And so that was the space race, and you should check out Socrative if you haven't. It's a great tool, and there is hopefully you have the link still saved there. You can save it if you haven't used it. And I have just one more tool I'm going to cover today for you, and it's called the Answer Pad. And the Answer Pad has just rolled out a new version. They're on version 2 now. And if you've ever looked at the Answer Pad before, you should really give it another look, because version 2 is great. It's very clean, much more user-friendly, and just has a nice clean feel all the way around. Now the Answer Pad is a little bit different in that it's meant to kind of go hand in hand with paper assessments, where students are actually looking at a paper assessment and answering them online, which is a great time saver for teachers. But the reason it got my attention a couple of years ago when I first found it was that the Answer Pad actually allows students to show their work, which that's all I've heard from math teachers through the years talking about these options of answering online, is they want students to show work. So the Answer Pad has a feature that lets you do that. And so that's a great thing. And it's also, there is a free version. It lets you do the interactive pieces where you just kind of send questions on the fly, and you have 12 templates like graph papers and things you can use. And then you can use an answer sheet, but you can't upload the quiz, but that's free. But if you want to be able to actually have students see a PDF of your quiz, so you're not using the paper at all, the plus version allows for that. It's $10 per teacher and $1 per student per year, which is pretty affordable. And then they also have a school and a site license, which is even cheaper. And I'll show you a graph at the end that really details the prices. It does have an exchange that is coming soon. It's being built. That'll have some resources that can be shared. Right now, that's not fully built, not ready to go. But it also has lots of tutorial videos. And again, this presentation is in my Google Hangout folder, so you can get the presentation and all these links will be active. But this time I'm going to do a little quick connect demo for you on the Answer Pad. And so I'm going to send you a web link again, and you should be able to click that and connect with my account, and I will go ahead and show you what to do with that. The next page that you're looking at right now, you can enter my class. It has a self-register option. And so if you will, choose register when you get there. And the class name you have to type exactly is Edu on Air, all one word, demo, and all of that is in caps. Edu on Air demo. And you want to go to version 2, by the way. If you're there looking for it, and I'm going to give just a second, so give everybody time to go there. So click version 2, and then you want to be a student this time. You're going to click as a student, and when your screen comes up for you to sign in, it will ask you for a connect code, or you can register. We can do it either way. I might just give you a connect code to make it more quick. But we could also have you register my class. Let me just do a quick connect because it'll be faster, and we actually are a little short on time. So the connect code is XVCPH. XVCPH. And if you'll put in that connect code, then I'll see that you have joined my class. And this is available to you with the free version right now. So again, just go to the connect code and put in XVCPH, and it should show up in just a second.
It's right up past
Yeah,
me.
and it'll ask for your name. So go ahead on the next slide and put your name and then submit it. And I should see some of you kind of joining me. I see Charlie, hopefully a couple other people. Again, I'll give it a minute to allow for the delay so I don't leave anybody behind. But if you're still looking for it, it's theanswerpad.com and student, then connect code XVCPH. Okay, I have several people who've joined me, and that code will continue to work. Even if I start without you, you're welcome to go ahead and click into it. And I'm just going to show you some of the different question types. Now, keep in mind, this is meant to be done alongside with either oral questions or questions on paper, questions on a board, or something like that. But I'm going to send you a multiple choice question. And on your device, as soon as I send it out, you're just going to get an A, B, C, D, and you just click the correct answer or tap the correct answer and pretend that I've given you a question. So just whichever one you feel like clicking, click one of the answers, and then you have to press send. So just click whatever you feel like and click send. And as you see, if you're looking at the teacher screen, you see all of these spinning. If you're looking at your education on there, Charlie's weighed in with an A. Andy's got a B, and the rest of them I'm still kind of waiting for. And over here, if you're looking at the Edu on Air screen, underneath the results, it kind of keeps a tally for the teacher, and you can see how many people answer each question as you go. And again, I'm pretending that you have a paper in front of you and you don't, so don't stress out. Just choose whatever answer you want to, just for demo purposes. No real question, no correct answer, no wrong answer. But B seems to be the most popular answer. If you look over here, I have 62% of the people who've chosen B, 21 have A, 14 have C, and so forth. Now, I'm not going to show every question because the multiple choice, the true, false, the thumbs up, thumbs down, those all kind of work the same way. But I am going to close this session, even though I've got a couple people still weighing in. I'm going to close the session I'm actually... Okay, because we're kind of running short on time, and I want to show you a little bit. Oops, I didn't mean to close the whole session, darn it. Okay. I closed it accidentally. I didn't mean to close the whole session. So if you will join me again, the connect code RMHUJ, I wanted to show you a couple of the templates that I have and that you have. There's some free templates that you can use with AnswerPad, and of course, if you pay, there are lots more templates. But the code this time, join me again if you will, RMHUJ, and I want to show you some of the templates that can be found. I may not be able to wait for everybody this time because I'm short on time. I'm sorry, I closed it accidentally. I just meant to send you to go to a next question and closed it. But I want to show you some templates. So I'm going to go into the template gallery, and you can see my screen, hopefully, at least on Edu on Air. But I clicked on the free folder, and all of these are available for free. So you can actually send these to your students, and then they can draw on them. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to send out a coordinate grid and just kind of show you. I have several people joining. So on your screen, as soon as I send out, which I'm going to do right now, you should be able to see a coordinate grid. And so the tools up in the corner, you've got a little paintbrush. If you click that, it drops down to some other tools, including one where you can type and a line feature and shape features, and then also a picture feature where students can actually pull in images. And then if you draw on it, just draw anything on it and send it in, then it'll start showing up on my screen, and the teacher will be able to see what's been done. And so then they can also share that with everybody, so everybody can see it. I can enlarge it and kind of show it. And there are lots of other interactive features as well. And so I want to cancel that one out. I'm not going to close the session this time, and I'm just going to go into the template and kind of show you again a few more. Okay, but they're not going to cut us off right when our time's up, but we are almost out of time. And so I want to take a minute to, first of all, see if we have any questions in our Hangout. If you have any questions, you want to post them. But we also have that drawing we talked about. So we want to do our drawing, and my lovely assistant is going to do that for us. She's using the randomizer app.
Yeah.
And do you have all the names in yet? Okay, we want to get all the names in, or we can pull them up from our spreadsheet. So let me pull this. Do you have the spreadsheet up? While we're doing that, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them to the Hangout. I'm going to go ahead and go back into my Hangout, and we're going to pull up.
Spreadsheet.
Okay, you don't have the spreadsheet handy. We may have to announce the winners after the fact. I'll put those on that shared folder. I don't want to hold you past the time that we've designated. But I have, if you have signed in that Google form, then your name's in the drawing. And she's pulling those up now. Anybody who gave us your name, we're going to draw. Again, it's 3 Nearpod Gold subscriptions and 3 Answer Pad Plus upgrades, as well as 3 T-shirts from Kahoot, and then a few stickers. So we're going to show you all of those. We'll kind of announce the winners later. If you want to hang on, and we'll still do that. But if you have another session to get to, I'll put those on my page with all of the other resources in just a few minutes. And the group chat is open. If you want to post a question, you're welcome to go ahead and post a question while we're working through this and getting that up on our screen.
I need to get to your sheet over here.
Okay, I'll pull it up right here. Let's see if I have it. I'll have to. I've done that beforehand. You're still with us. We're getting there.
Yeah, those are great tools. I know our students are using them. They love them. Each one has some special characteristics. Some of them, like Nearpod, you can actually draw or write math answers. Kahoot's really engaging. Answer Pad's just an excellent tool. So we encourage you to definitely use them with your students and try them out. But for right now, we'll try to get some prizes out to you.
Okay, if you want to check back, and we'll email you if you win any of those prizes. If you put your email in that spreadsheet, we'll do that. But we are out of time, and I don't want to go over. So thank you for joining us today, and I hope it was very helpful to you, and hope that you can find use in all of those tools. I think you will. Those are good tools. So thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Vera.